What's going on, guys? Today, I'm doing this video instead of the Verlis videos because Sun and Moon were announced. Gen 7 hype! And Leonardo DiCaprio got his Oscar finally. So we're hyped for that too. A lot of things happening this weekend. With me, I have a good friend, Scott Norman, head admin of the largest Facebook Pokemon community. So, go ahead and say hi to the people,
What's
Scott.
up? What's up, people?
So I guess today we're just gonna talk about like our expectations for Pokemon Sun and Moon. So Verlis saved himself an ass beating because I'm choosing to spend my time on this instead of his sorry ass. I was gonna talk about. I
Uh,
don't think you know, but I was actually planning a video talking about like him bashing Ray Rizzo because apparently he's a cheater. But
I, I, I think at this point, I think he kind of just makes himself look bad just by talking. So
yeah, I don't think I need to explain it to anybody. But yeah, Sun and Moon. First of all, do you think it's Gen 7? I think it is.
I think it's that. Yeah, I think it's Gen 7. Um, I mean, there's still the possibility that it could be Gen 6, and Game Freak's just not saying it is. But I think it seems highly unlikely that it's Gen 6 at this point.
Yeah, I mean, just by the language that they used in the trailer and in some of the interviews that have been coming up, and just the fact it's been 3 years since XY.
Yeah,
Um,
it's 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 just time for a new gen. Like, it's usually anytime every 2 to 4 years is when they introduce a new gen. And despite everyone wanting Z and wanting an answer for this whole Zygarde thing, um, I think that there's still a possibility that we could get the answers to that in Sun and Moon.
I hope so. I mean,
Um,
judging by all of the references that they've made to the past, I've seen some people say that we're gonna return to Kalos, like maybe some post game shit, and that's where we're gonna see Zygarde.
like kind of like they did with Gold and Silver, where we went to two regions instead of just one.
And like we definitely have the hardware capabilities to do it now, so
Yeah.
that's not really a problem.
I mean, if we could do it on the Game Boy Color, I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like some people are even saying that we're gonna have like more regions than that, which I kind of doubt. I would, if we had just two regions,
Very
I'd
interesting.
be very satisfied.
It would definitely make for a content-filled game with a lot to do. But like I could see like a new region, Kalos, and even something like Unova would be really cool.
Have three regions, that'd be
Yeah.
all right. I mean, yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I
Yeah.
just don't want it to have the Daggerfall syndrome where it's just a lot of fucking game map and not a lot of depth or detail. Definitely
Right.
don't want that. And also, like, there's a lot of things left unanswered and unexplored in Callus.
Like, cause like even back in Gold and Silver when we had the two regions, when you went to Kanto, like so for starters, those games did not have a lot of story to begin with. It was pretty much just go get the 8 badges and go challenge Lance.
Yeah.
And even when you went to Kanto, there was a little bit of like there was even less storyline. It was just kind of like do a few missions and get all the 8 badges and then go fight Red.
There's a side of that I liked just because there's a lot more freedom going. It's not as linear. Like in Kanto, you just go there and you do
There was a
whatever you
little bit
fucking
more
want.
there than there was in the Gen 1 games. But Gen 3 is where they first really like made it more story based and like there was a lot more lore behind the whole. Um,
Yeah. And especially in like the original Gold and Silver, not so much maybe in Heart Gold and Soul Silver.
Gold Soul Silver they
They
added.
added so much to Kanto. Like they cut out a shit ton of stuff. Like Cinnabar Island. Well, in Heart Gold Soul Silver, it's still fucking gone, but Cinnabar Island's fucking
Yeah,
gone. That's just one example.
and in Heart Gold Soul Silver you could actually explore the Seafoam Islands again.
Could you
Uh,
not do that in Gold and
and,
Silver? I don't
Gold,
even remember.
and stuff like it. There was just more to do in Heart of Gold Soul Silver. It was a really well done remake.
Oh yeah, Mewtwo was there. He wasn't there in Gold Silver. Cerulean Cave was gone.
Nope, Cerulean Cave was just yeah, yeah, and then there was Heart of Gold, Soul Silver was just a really well done remake, and uh, in my opinion, as far as remakes go, it kind of put Oras to shame because
It really did. I still look upon Heart Gold Soul Silver like really fondly
yeah,
compared to Oras. I mean, you're not gonna bring back the battle frontier. Come on, that's for shame.
and Battle Mason is kind of fun, but there's just not enough content.
But yeah, that was like one of the feature things from Emerald. Ah man, it was disappointing to say the least.
Yeah, it definitely was.
But
But
like considering how much they accomplished with two regions in Heart Gold Soul Silver,
yeah.
like no question they should apply that and make it even better on a 3DS.
Another thing, it's just a little thing, but another thing that I really liked about Heart Gold Soul Silver was having your main Pokemon follow you. Like,
Yes, bring it back.
like, they only ever done that in Heart Gold Soul Silver and in Yellow version. I mean, Yellow version was just Pikachu,
Yeah, but still,
but
it
still,
was a
yeah.
good system. Like you could interact with it.
Like,
Although, like
it was
you,
pretty fun. It was pretty funny when they had something like a Rayquaza following me.
or like a
Like,
fucking
it was just
Lugia.
like, you go, but yeah, um, uh,
Um, Speaking of, oh man, you know what? I was just about to bring up something else and I forgot. But yeah, the Pokemon following you around. Well, they kind of did that with Poke. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Pokeyami.
oh yeah,
The bottom screen thing. I liked that a lot.
it was. The only issue I had with it was that the only real reason to ever use it was to get Sylveon.
Yeah, for Sylveon.
I mean, that was get Sylveon, and then what else are you going to use it for? Because you can get the max happiness or whatever it is with it, and it's good for in-game stuff. But like if you're a Wi-Fi battler or a competitive battler or anything like that, it has zero use.
Yeah, I think they should really maybe try to expand on that and give it more usage. Like maybe it can be used for EV training or something. That'd be pretty cool to see if it
Yeah,
raised stats.
yeah.
But like
Like
showing, because they always emphasize that in the show, like you gotta have a bond with your Pokemon. That's how they get
like
stronger, right?
maybe like a 1% increase in stats or something small.
Yeah, no, they gotta make it difficult. Like they gotta make it difficult to where you can't just fully EV train in Amy or whatever. That would be ridiculous. But maybe just have small amounts of EV training in
Yeah.
in that sort of system and expand on that. I would be happy to see something like that.
It
Bring
would.
back maybe like the park system.
I think it would definitely shake up the metagame too if they did like that.
Yeah,
Depending on what they did with it.
depending on where they go with it. Maybe even if it can increase. I don't know how to word this, but increase the likeliness that the offspring of that Pokemon has good IVs. That would be interesting.
And another thing I'd like to see them bring back is the Friend Safari.
Um, isn't
It
that
was,
already? Well, yeah, that's already in X, Y, and Oras, isn't it?
it's not an Oras.
It's not an
There's
Oras. Oh, okay.
Safari and Oras. Uh, that's why I said I'd like for them to bring it back in Sun and Moon is because it wasn't in Oras.
I guess Friend Safari was okay, but it's not something that immediately comes to mind.
It's not something that immediately comes to mind, but it was something when it was introduced. It was something new, and it was pretty cool. The thing I would want them to do with it differently is not have it be totally based on because they based it on your friend code.
Uh huh.
Um, I think if they could make it based off something else, so that you have a chance of maybe because if you're still using the same friend code that you did back in XY, then
You're
different
gonna get the same shit.
have the same stuff. So if they could make it random, more not based on friend code, then that would be cool.
So okay, let's move along here to New Pokemon. Let's talk specifically about things that would affect competitive battling. So Masuda already said that he's not going to try and introduce like new items or new abilities,
Yeah.
which kind of disappointed me.
Which would have been kind of cool to see. Like, it would have been cool to see like an item like a salt vest, but for physical.
Yeah, something like that that could shake up competitive. That's like the specific examples he gave when he said he was going to make the game simpler. But typings. What are some typings you want to see come to
Um, I
life?
I think Dark Fairy would be really cool and
Oh man, Dark. I didn't even think of that one. Like immediately. I was thinking more like normal ghost.
yeah.
That'd
Uh,
be really fucking chill. But yeah, Dark Fairy. I feel like Dark Fairy is a lot more manifestable than something like normal ghost, which is like inherently contradictory, you know?
right.
Maybe like, obviously more fairy types. I want to even up the
As
distribution a little bit.
series go, I would love to see a really fast, um, not so much bulky, but just like a fast fairy sweeper. Like, because they don't have that yet. Because if you look at the fairy lineup,
They're all megas basically.
they're all just really slow and bulky.
Yeah, the very few offensive fairy types that are
They're
like anywhere near fast are just megas.
or either bulky or they're just,
They're
you know,
just fat.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so like a glass cannon fairy type,
right, because you have stuff like Mega Gardevoir and Mega Mawile and Azumarill.
and even they're not that fast.
No, no, they're like base 50 speed.
Gardevoir is like 100 when it's
Yeah,
mega.
Gardevoir is 100, which uh, in OU now is kind of slow.
That's like average, yeah.
uh,
Yeah, definitely agree. A lot more fairies. Make them more diverse in their roles. Like have like a Greninja type fairy Pokemon, like that kind of distribution. Um, shit. What else was I gonna say? I really want to. You know what the meta game really needs right now, and especially in OU, like a good fast offensive grass type. The closest thing we have is Sceptile, and Sceptile sucks. It really sucks.
yeah, it really does. Uh, it needs to be not pure grass because it just then it'll just defeat the purpose because it still gets eaten alive by Talonflame.
We need like a grass type version of Tornadus. That's of Tornadus T. Something that can pivot around, that's fast, maybe not too frail, but also not too strong. That'll put it over the edge. As for secondary typings, like I actually think Mega Sceptile's typing is fine. Just don't make it as bad as Mega Sceptile. Don't make it a Mega. Make it be able to pivot around. Give it a decent ability, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
uh, yeah, if you had a grass dragon type that wasn't so frail,
Maybe something that can switch into Keldeo for a change.
right?
Something like that. That's like what comes to mind in terms of what the meta really needs. Maybe even something like I even think a Cap Pokemon is already like this, a creative Pokemon, but a fast Grass Steel type.
I'm not sure if they have one of those in the cap tier or whatever, but
Scott, can you mute? Can you like get out of Facebook because you can hear the notifications in the video?
there we go.
All right.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
mention. My bad.
no, they're fine. But like Grass Steel, it's a really good typing, but maybe a Pokemon that's a little bit on the frailer side to make up for it.
Yeah,
Or Grass, I don't know, Grass Psychic. That would be really nice. Like we have Celebi, but
yeah,
Celebi is just kind of a jack of all trades, master of none.
yeah. I mean, it's
Megatropius,
you
Grass
just
Flying.
well, see, a grass psychic type is you keep that away from anything that has U-turn, though, because like that
Yeah,
force.
that too. Yeah, again, just unique typings. Give me some Grass Fire. That'd be interesting to see.
One typing that wouldn't necessarily. I don't know exactly how good it would be, but one that would certainly be new would be electric fighting. Like,
Electric Fighting would be cool.
yeah,
It would have let me see. It would be neutral to flying, I guess. That'd be okay. With that, I think it would really just come down to move pool and
Right.
stat distribution. Like, would it get good electric moves? Would it be physical or special? Would it get good fighting moves? Like, would it get Aura Sphere if it were special? It would come down to stuff like that, I think.
I like if it was like a special attacking um if it was like a specialist if it was a special attacker having stuff like Thunderbolt or a Sphere and then having something like Vacuum Wave for priority would be really cool.
Oh man, that'd be yummy. I would like that. And for coverage, maybe I think giving a flamethrower would be a little bit much. Same thing with like giving it ridiculous shit like ice beam, giving it bolt beam. That'd be a little bit too much. But give it shit like I don't know, shadow ball, signal beam. Obviously, it'll have hidden power. Maybe something like
Yeah,
psychic.
you could run stuff like if you wanted to
Earth
like
power wouldn't be bad.
power. Um,
Okay, so new megas and any desired megas, I guess. I actually
well,
don't really have a whole lot. Like people have been screaming Flygon.
yeah, people have been screaming Flygon with Dragon and Bug, and um,
I'm not feeling Dragon Bug on
uh,
Flygon. Save that for a new Pokemon.
like I don't know.
Um, I'm kind of feeling Mega Milotic, to be honest.
I've been saying this for a while. I don't know how like if it would be too OP or not, but Mega Milotic with Water Fairy
I
typing.
was about to say that. Like, Fairy
Oh,
Water is such a good typing, and it's kind of wasted because only Azumarill has it.
right.
And Azumarill is great, but I think that typing needs to be used a lot more.
I was thinking for ability like multi-scale, like
That's a little bit too much. If anything, I think it should keep competitive. Competitive is a good ability for it.
yeah, competitive. Yeah, that's
It's nothing game breaking. It has its uses. If it has a mega, the stats will improve. Maybe give it some more speed. Make it viable offensively. Give it dazzling gleam at the very least.
yeah,
Because with a new generation, they have the opportunity to retcon certain Pokemon, give it some extra moves.
yeah, yeah. I'd like to see them switch some more, and maybe if it's possible, like take some of the certain mons that they have now and maybe give it another typing. Because I know they did a lot of that with fairy typing when, um,
Yeah, when Gen 6 came out.
but
I don't know if they'll go that far. I actually don't think they're gonna retcon Pokemon with typing, but
well,
I do
I'm not
hope.
making new typing. I'm just saying add typing to some mons that might kind of seem to fit it or
Yeah.
something.
See, I don't think that's gonna happen, but
No, I don't think so either.
I think more so what they should do is maybe tweak certain moves and abilities to either buff or nerf them, rebalance stuff. Like maybe they could do something about Shadow Tag being ridiculous. They kind of did it in Gen 6 where they made it so where Ghost Pokemon could switch out. And that's not enough. Like, there's not enough Ghost Pokemon to make that a viable
Right.
check to Shadow Tag. It's just... And
Yeah.
if you think about the Pokemon that get it, like Mega Gengar, Ghost is super effective against Ghost, so yeah.
Wait, uh, so the Shadow Tag doesn't work on ghost types, right? Or it
Yeah, that
does?
was a recent thing, if I'm not mistaken. It's either Gen 5 or Gen 6 when they said that Ghost types could switch out of Shadow Tag.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that some abilities just need to be completely overhauled to
Oh,
make them
and
not
there,
as bad.
I was just thinking about I just thought of this because I ran into this at regionals today. One thing they need to change is they need to make Dark Void, not. They need to make Wide Guard stop.
Yes, please! Make Wide Guard affect Dark Void. I can't believe that actually doesn't work. I tried that once
I
and it didn't
learned that
work.
the hard way today because I wasn't aware that
Oh, did you run into that at regionals? Oh my god.
And I went
That
up,
sucks.
I had Aegislash on the field, and this guy had a Smeargle, and I clicked Wide Guard, and he clicked Dark Void, and I was like, huh?
Oh shit. Wow. Wow, you found it a regional though. That's especially bad. I found out just playing on the ladder, just playing online. And now that we're on the topic, what do you think Sun and Moon is gonna mean for VGC? Like, what kind of format do you think they're gonna have?
Well, I don't know what it's gonna look like. I know what I think it should have been is um, I think that I don't know what Game Freak was thinking putting primals and all that stuff in there.
Yeah, they didn't think that through at all. Primal
Uh,
Groudon is so good.
what I was expecting and what I thought would have been a really cool idea because it was kind of like this in
Well,
VGC.
I mean for VGC 2017 with Moon and Sun.
What 2013 was basically just um, pretty much all the cover legends were banned, but pretty much anything in the national decks was legal. And what I was thinking that could have done that with this year's meta was was be do just like that, but just not and have it not limited to Hoenn and Kalos born Pokemon.
Oh,
Like,
so just open it up to any Pokemon that work from any game.
but yeah, but just have the cover legends like Primal Groudon and Xerneas and all that stuff banned. Like that would have been a really good meta.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking about like what do you think they'll do for VGC 2017 once? Because you know what I'm kind of afraid of is that they'll introduce a bunch of new Pokemon, and
Uh,
it'll be like 2011, where it's like you can only use the Gen 7 Pokemon.
well, it also could be like 2014 all over again.
Oh, where it's just like Moon and Sun Pokemon that were born in Moon and Sun or were transferred. Oh, you know what? You just gave me an idea. What if they make it to where only Pokemon from the new RBY releases that were transferred over to Sun and Moon and Sun and Moon natives, those are the only Pokemon allowed? What if they
Uh,
made it like that?
Fissure Machamp is the meta.
Mr. Machamp is the meta. I certainly hope they like realize this and ban Oko moves, as well as ban like they.
Yeah.
It's long overdue that they should ban Dark Void. That shit is just not fun. It's not fun. It doesn't
They
take
kind
skill
of
to
did,
use.
or until it wasn't until Gen 6 that was legal.
Which I just don't understand. Why
I
would
don't
they go out of their way to make that legal?
to be like, hey, this isn't so bad anymore. Like,
Like Smeargle would be good enough with Spore, but Dark Void just makes it over the top
I mean,
to where it's just like matchup based
it,
a lot of
it
times.
makes you realize that it's a good thing that they have all of the event legends banned. Because if Darkrai was legal, that would just be disgusting.
That would be disgusting. Jesus Christ.
Like Keldeo would be pretty fun, and I think it would be pretty good in VGC. But
Yes,
Darkrai
Keldeo would be fun.
and Arceus just all of the nope.
Keldeo would be so good for VGC just because it gets stuff like Icy Wind. It can counter Landorus. The fighting coverage is also nice. And it's not really too powerful. It doesn't have a good move pool. No, not a good ability. But everything else is fine.
Right.
So in X and Y, the theme with that was that Kalos was based off of France. Do you think they're gonna do anything similar with Moon and Sun? I just wouldn't know where else to base it off of. Like, I guess the United States. That's kind of what they did with Unova a little bit.
If it's like the sun and
Sun and
moon,
Moon, like maybe like See, I want to be careful what I say here, but like Thailand, maybe.
maybe.
The problem is we didn't get a single fucking screenshot. No gameplay,
They
nothing.
just said, "Hey, this is coming." Like,
We got like one thing of a building. I don't know if you remember that screenshot in the trailer. Like it was just like a drawing, a design
yeah,
looking thing, which looked a lot like something that would be an X and Y to be honest.
yeah. So it could be somewhere close to Kalos.
Like another European country, you think?
Maybe.
Sun and Yeah, I just don't know what's up with Sun and Moon. Like, what is that going to relate to? Is that going to relate to the region? Is that going to relate to the legendaries? We just don't have enough information, I think.
I'm just seeing like I'm seeing as far as the legendaries, I'm seeing something that's like obviously fire and is like just this god epic god of fire, and then as
And for
the
Moon, maybe like a psychic type.
like a psychic fairy that's just like really freaking OP.
That'd be fun. I guess another thing I wanted to bring up is I hope they expand on character customization.
Yeah, I would really like to bring them to bring that back. There wasn't really enough. It was a new concept for Pokemon in X and Y, so I understand why it was kind of limited.
Yeah, and XY was a good template, but I think Moon and Sun needs to be all about just expanding on the things that Kalos introduced.
Right.
If you know what I'm saying, like introducing the unique settings, the character customization, um, the new Pokemon, Megas, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Um,
And what else was I gonna say? Like, and I'm really kind of worried about that because in ORAS they took away all of that, no customization whatsoever.
reason for there being no character customization in ORAS though was because it wasn't.
Well, yeah, because it was a remake and they wanted to make it as close to Ruby Sapphire as possible. But I'm just afraid that it's gonna be an afterthought after that.
But
Huh?
so I don't think we have anything to worry about as far as like, oh, are they just getting rid of it or anything like that? Because I think it was just a one-time thing with ORAS.
I hope so. And you never know of Game Freak. They're pretty unpredictable in what
Yeah,
the kind of shit they pull out.
I think they're gonna do one thing and then they do another. So
Like we thought Z was coming, right?
and we also thought Gray version was gonna be a thing in fifth gen, and that didn't happen either.
Nope.
Even they had the I think they even had the copyright and everything for it, but they just never made it.
They never used it.
And then there's also talk about, speaking of Gen 5, in the coding of the game, when you get the things for Kiram for Zekrom and Reshiram,
Yeah.
There's like another orb thing that's called like the God Orb or some item that's supposedly linked to Kiram that we don't know about.
I guess maybe the intention was that we were gonna get the original Unova Dragon, but they scrapped it. That's the only explanation I can come up with.
Right.
I don't really think they'll revisit that.
Thing, but I don't know. The window on that is closing pretty quickly if they're going to do something about that. But
Yeah.
unless the next game allows us to return to Unova and there's like some big epic thing about it.
I mean, at this point, like the thing we talked about, the multi-regions, that's actually not an impossibility at this point.
No.
Because we already have the gate open still in terms of Zygarde. I think it's actually a lot more likely than people think that we're going to have a post-game thing where we go back to Kalos, and that's where we see Zygarde.
Yeah.
I guess this does beg the question, are we going to see a Diamond Pro remake in 2018?
I don't think it's going to be 2000. It could be 2018. I definitely don't think it's going to be next year.
Oh yeah, that's what I said, 2018. Because that'll be like, what, 11, 12 years after
the
original Diamond Pro?
It will have been, yeah. So
Though we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves.
we are, but it's possibility, and then there's also the possibility that they'll introduce Primal Dialga and Primal Kyogre, and everyone will just die. But
well, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. And in conclusion, okay, if you had to name one thing that you want to see in Moon and Sun that you haven't gotten in X, Y, or ORAS, what would it be?
Um. Hmm.
Take a few seconds. I need to think of mine as well.
Okay. Is it just anything, a mega, or
Anything. It can be general, it can be specific.
um? I really like to see another thing like the Battle Frontier or the Pokemon World Tournament. Like,
Oh, like better post game, like
yeah, more
battling shit.
in the last both in XY and in ORAS, there just wasn't enough post game.
Okay, that's so better post
That's
game
one thing
overall.
I'd really like to see in Sun and Moon is them bring the post game back.
Well, okay, my most the thing I want the most kind of ties into that in that I really do want multi regions. Maybe not all of them, but like two or three would be nice. That would make for a
I
quality
just
post game. It would tie things up nicely with Zygarde, so that's the thing I want the most.
If I was to pick what I would want to see for a multi-region thing at this point,
Hmm.
uh, I would pick. Well, obviously there would be the Sun and Moon region, whatever it's going to be called, and I would want Kalos and Unova.
I think as long as it's done well, just the new region and Kalos would be good. As long as they expand on Kalos as well and make it detailed. Maybe
I,
part of Unova.
there was three regions. If it was two, I wouldn't mind seeing Kalos again. Like,
Yeah. I just think there's too much unanswered in Kalos for them to leave it out.
it's they're really leaving fans like.
Just hanging.
But,
Not even Volcanion has been released yet. It's pretty
yeah,
crazy.
and the movie's not even due out in Japan until July, and
Yeah.
said the games are coming out holidays. So is Volcanion even going to be?
Oh, I
Is,
didn't even mention this, but like a lot of
I,
people are also saying that Kanto is gonna be maybe the third region instead of Unova. Maybe it'll be like Kanto, Kalos, and then the new region, just to celebrate like the 20th anniversary.
as far
That would be a really Nintendo move. Like that would be like them to do that.
going back to Volcanion for a minute, it seems that we are going to probably get that event really close to the release of Sun and Moon. So
Yeah. So maybe that'll tie into some other thing. I don't know. So much is left open and up to speculation.
all I know about Volcanion is Steam Eruption is an OP move, but we'll get into that another time. Like
Yeah.
that thing's gonna it's a skull with the power of Hydro Pump.
I really hope nothing else gets that move ever. It's fucking disgusting. Well, I think that's gonna be it for this video. I'll catch you later, and shout out to Leo, Oscars 2016. All right, and I'll see you all next time.